Get me tuned in. Yeah. Get me tuned in. Yeah. Ha.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Beyond the Gates Season 2, Episode 126. Now, before we begin, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. All right, so we start the episode off with Dani and Pamela. They're looking at new models. Dani says that one of the models reminds her of someone, and um, Pamela first says Isaiah, and Dani's just like no, and it's clearly Bill is who she's thinking about. So Pamela wants to know what she did, what happened, or what did she do, and Dani is just like, it's not what I did, it's who I did. We go to, we see Bill. He's in his office. Haley comes in to check on him. He tells her to chill. He doesn't need her to be checking on him every 5 minutes. He has to focus on work. He makes a joke about passing, and Haley acts like she's upset about it. We see Deanna. She is at Uptown and she's practicing her speech. Practicing her speech on what she wants to say to Joey and Vanessa, and how Joey is the devil, um, and how Joey is the one who took who clapped Doug. She then starts talking to the picture of Doug and says she can't come in too hot. We see Joey asking Vanessa uh, if Deanna really is okay with him. Vanessa's giving Deanna the benefit of the doubt. We see Smitty. He's at Orphe Jeans and he's looking at an article on Martin. And he flashes back to Martin confessing what he did, what happened, what he had did on that old country road. We see, I'm sorry, yeah, and yeah, sorry. So then we see Martin. Martin's having another flashback of Smitty saying he can't trust him, and he is at the country club. Um, we see Chelsea and Kat. They're wondering why Naomi wants them all there. Martin comes back and they start talking about goats and all this other stuff. Martin comes back, says he thought that they would have been done with this conversation by the time he got back. Um, Kat tells them, you don't have to worry about us having a conversation anymore. Naomi's here. She walks in, she greets them, and then tells them that she has a BRCA gene. She tells them that she lied, and they want to know why she did it, and why they're telling her now. Martin's worried if she found out that she has the big C. She tells him no, she doesn't have it. Kat is pissed. Um, Chelsea is pissed, and Kat is telling Chelsea to hear her out. Chelsea isn't having it. Naomi tells her reasonings. Chelsea can't believe she didn't tell Jacob, and Naomi tells him why she didn't tell Jacob or whatever. We go back to Dani and Pamela, and she's telling her that she slept with Bill and she hasn't told Andre. We see Andre, he runs into Smitty. He's trying to get his attention, but Smitty is so focused on his flashback. So he finally snaps out of it. Andre asks him if he's okay. He tells him he was thinking about Martin and tells him what happened about a year ago about them hitting a rough patch or whatever. We go back to Bill and Haley, and she's just like, okay, fine, I won't be bothering you. I did book a spa. So he tells her, cool, go ahead and do that. He has work to do. And thanks for letting him handling it his way. Tomas comes in, welcoming him back, and makes a dig at Naomi. Haley dips. Bill asks Tomas if he has a problem taking orders from Naomi. He says no. He assumed that he would be handling things like last time. Bill gives him a lesson. Tomas has no problem working with Naomi. He has a problem working for Naomi. He put in the work, and he put in all the work, but um, he can't, what did he say? Sorry. He can't compete with nepotism. That's what he said. So we see, we go back to Uptown and we see, where's my picture? Sorry. We see Joey and Vanessa. They're at the table, um, talking with Deanna. They talk about Donnell. They talk about work. She says she ordered their drinks. Joey is curious for what she has in store for them tonight. We go back to Dani. She's talking about not being over Bill, but being in love with Andre. She wants to know what if it isn't enough. Pamela gives her a pass on sleeping with Bill. And I put in my notes, I don't like that no one is holding her accountable for sleeping with Bill. Well, the two people that she's told, they're not holding her accountable for sleeping with Bill. Every time someone gives her a pass, she thinks it's okay to continue to act the way that she is, even though she knows who Bill is and how he treated her. And I need her to get some self respect because ain't no way I'm gonna be this hung up over a man who did me dirty throughout our entire marriage and then even went further to leave me for someone younger, our daughter's best friend, and then continue to disrespect me and continue to throw her in my face. And now that I've moved on to someone else, now he wants to spin the block with me. So yeah. Um she says she can't believe she ran to Bill's arms, a man incapable of change who cheats and always will, and he won't let her forget it, and he keeps dangling it under her skin, keeps dangling it to get under her skin. What does that say about him? What does it say about you that you keep falling for it? We see Smitty and Andre, they're talking about relationships, have all the relationships having trust issues eventually, and how life lives, Andre has to leave to meet Martin. He isn't sure what about yet, so he leaves. We see Naomi. She is she's telling them what she's decided. Kat's a little worried. Martin wants to know what Jacob thinks. He's supportive. Martin has to leave. He tells Naomi she has his full support with whatever she decides. Naomi is done talking about it, so that means that the convo is over and wants to know what they got going on. Kat starts to tell her about the condo, but Chelsea isn't ready to pivot and she says her piece. Naomi explains why she did it. Um, and Chelsea is stuck on her icing her out. Naomi says she respected her coming out on her terms and hopes that she would respect her decision. They hug it out. Kat then tells them about the condo and having a part-time roommate. I'm gonna leave it alone. Andre meets with Martin at the atrium. Martin wants him to be his official campaign photographer. So I'm seeing on the Twitter streets, y'all didn't know that this was a mall. I could have sworn we knew that this was a mall. This was the food court in the mall. I know I've said it before, but I could have sworn we all knew this. Like at first we thought it was a coffee shop, and then someone said something about it being the mall. And we've seen Kat and Nicole like coming there after shopping when they ran into Ted. So I don't know why people are saying they didn't know that this was a mall. This was a food court at the mall. I could have sworn we knew that. But okay, so we see Smitty. He is on the phone with his editor. He's giving his editor an update on his story and the new angle he wants to work. Haley comes in and he calls her over to get details about Lynette. She plays up her sadness about Lynette disappearing. We go back to Joey, Vanessa, and Deanna. They're drinking the wine. Joey says it was a good pick. Deanna says she picked it because it was Vanessa's favorite when when she and Doug came to visit um, Deanna when she was living abroad. Vanessa says Joey's been there too. He tries to make her seem uncultured and get under her skin. Deanna doesn't fall for it. Vanessa's ready to order. Joey brings up them going through Doug's things. And again, I in my notes I said, Vanessa, why are you not clocking that this man is actively trying to get under your daughter's skin after you told him how much this means to you. He knows, yeah, he knows what he knows what to do, what he can do, and you're allowing it. That's why he continues to do it, because if you keep actively telling this man that you want this relationship with your daughter and he keeps undermining it and you're not saying anything, he's going to continue to do it. And then when your daughter effectively cuts you off, you're going to be looking like, when did that happen and why did it happen? It's because of instances like this man, you like, the fact that you know how your daughter feels about your husband, your about her father, and this man is talking about y'all going through your her father's things, when you know she's trying to make peace with Joey, and you're just sitting there like, la di da, let's order food. Yeah, that's why when your daughter effectively cuts you off when everything hits the fan, you can't be mad at nobody but yourself, because this is another instant where he is overstepping his boundaries when it comes to Deanna and Doug, and you're not saying anything. Not even when it comes to Deanna and Doug, but when it comes to your relationship with your daughter. He keeps undermining it and you're just allowing him. So again, when it all hits the fan, don't come crying to your daughter who's always seen him for what he's worth. That's on you. Um, let's see. Deanna gets a little bit flustered, but she plays it off when he mentions them going through Doug's things. She's glad. She says she's glad she had someone with her to go through the things, and she asked if they found anything interesting. And I low key feel like she knows she read the letter, but I don't know yet. But it feels like she knows about the letter. That's why she's so adamant about saying that this man did this, because like I, like you know, like I don't see why she would be so adamant about it, because you, like, when you first came to town, you like your father had been gone for a little bit and your mom moved on, so why would you just automatically assume that she was messing with him while she was married, unless you knew something, unless Doug was telling you stuff. So I don't know. But not Joey says not he says nothing came to mind when she asked if they found anything interesting. He says nothing came to mind. Vanessa lists off what the things that they did find. Deanna then changes the subject to Joey's cooking, and Vanessa gushes about it. He tells her he'll give her some to bring to work in the morning. We go back to Pamela, is still giving Dani a pass about sleeping with Bill, and says it was bound to happen. Why was it bound to happen? Like, child, okay, whatever. Dani thinks the universe isn't cutting her any slack, and all the mistakes she made is putting, and Naomi is paying the price. And it's just like, girl, Dani, what? Like, you sleeping with Bill happened after Naomi found out about the BRCA gene. Naomi's known about the BRCA gene since January. You slept with Bill in June or something like that. That has nothing to do with anything. Girl, whatever. So we see Chelsea, Naomi, and Kat. They're now talking about Tomas moving in. They see Haley and wonder why she's there. Chelsea tells them that Bill checked out and Haley not being there. Kat says it's wild what a difference a wife makes, and says Dani would be posted up at the hospital. Haley walks over there trying to play nice, but the girls aren't having it, and Naomi wants to know why she isn't with Bill. We go back to Tomas and Bill. Tomas is complaining about possibly working for Naomi and not being sure where he stands and if he will have a job when he comes back from Puerto Rico, because he had planned to postpone it because he didn't know if he would still have a job, whatever. Tomas tells Bill that he proposed to Kat and she said no. We go to Andre and Martin. Andre is booked and busy. He he can't say that he can be his official photographer. He does believe in his message, but he'll have to see what he can do, what he can and can't do. He mentioned something about Smitty, about what Smitty told him, and they talk about what he and Smitty talked about. Martin gives him advice on marriage, and Andre talks about loving being a part of their family and his travels and how alone he felt until he came back and started dating Dani, and he doesn't want to mess this up. We go back to Dani and Pamela, and Dani told Pamela about Naomi. Dani makes it about herself. Pamela isn't having it, but still gives her a pass about sleeping with Bill. Says it was a weak moment. Pamela gives her a pep talk. She tells her to think of all the bad times and the gaslighting, and tells her to remember the truth about Bill and not the fantasy she built up in her head. Finally, you survive that chapter. You close the book. Don't reopen it just because the cover is pretty. Dani says she's what she needed today, and I'm glad that she finally said something, because yes, Dani, I need you to remember all of the bad. The good does not outweigh the bad, because he left you and disrespected you every chance that he could get during your marriage, when he was getting ready to leave you, when he left you, and after he's left you. And continuing to this day, he's still low-key disrespecting you. And you keep falling for it, and giving your body to him just made it worse. But I'm glad that Pamela finally said that, even though she gave her a pass for sleeping with that man, as if the lady wasn't married and she couldn't, even though she was scared and thought that whatever, she couldn't be like, even if this was my last moment on earth, I still would not give my body to you. That's not a weak moment. That's Dani being a cheater and becoming Bill, but whatever. We go back to Deanna and them. She thanks them for coming and thanks Joey for taking care of the tab. She leaves and Joey looks on skeptical. We go back to Bill and did I say that right? Spectacle? Child, y'all know what I was trying to say. We see Bill giving Tomas a pep talk about being turned down. Tomas tells him the reason he wanted to propose, and Bill tells him that isn't what he was saying, and he better not be using Kat to get ahead. You did that, sir. You used Dani to get ahead, but whatever. And you low-key told him that, and that's why he's doing what he's doing. Tomas says he loves Kat. Bill sends him on his way. Tomas kisses up to him before he leaves. We go back to the girls. Naomi asks Haley if she's okay with Bill checking himself out. Haley can't force Bill to stop working. Chelsea makes a remark about Bill passing out in a deposition and going back to work. Kat says, "Are you trying to kill Bill?" Haley says she came over to be civil, and Bill's health scare should have pulled them together. Kat says, "You ain't family." Haley makes a remark about Kat not changing after giving a piece of her liver. A worker comes over and tells Haley that her appointment is ready. The girls are pissed. They say Chelsea says she'll check on Bill while she gets her face done. She gets her spa workout or whatever. Haley leaves, and they don't see it for her. Kat, they don't see what Bill sees in her, and Kat says exhibit double D. So Andre comes home, and Dani is sitting on the couch looking sad. He asks her what's wrong. She says she loves him. He loves her too, and he isn't taking this marriage for granted. They kiss and hug, and Dani looks guilty. We see Martin. He meets Smitty at OG. They talk about what almost happened a year ago, and that they love each other and they just want to go home and be with each other. We see Deanna. She is outside of she's outside of Uptown. She's talking to the picture of Doug and says she did what she did. She did what he wanted, and Joey may have Vanessa full, but he doesn't have her full. And we see Vanessa telling Joey that dinner went well, and she takes it as progress. Joey says, "You're happy, I'm happy," and then he looks back at the door skeptical. hope I'm saying that word right. If I'm not, yeah, I'll learn eventually. But yeah, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. Get down in the comments. Tell me what you guys thought of this episode. And I will see you guys in the next one.